the political side of it, and then there's the real story.
There's a lot to unpack right there. It wasn't quite the interview I thought that was going to be.
There's a reason for it.
This will be officially my favorite podcast I've ever done. One of the things I'm excited about to talk about is like you are blowing up, like the Brad Lea brand. Forget LightSpeed for a second. The people that are excited to see you. I wonder why you think that is. You were at my conference, RiskOn 360. You were at the one last year, but this year I saw like a different level. When you invited people, I saw like hundreds of people respond within a very short time. I'm talking about 10 minutes. And so you're resonating somewhere. Why do you think you're resonating?
I think the world is wanting authenticity, transparency, and, you know, for people to be real. And I think they get that from me.
You think they get that from you?
Yeah. As you know me.
Oh, I do. Well,
yeah, I just keep
I'm
it real.
completely biased.
I don't shield it, and I don't, pussyfoot around and sugarcoat. I just keep it real, and I tell the truth. And I think that's rare nowadays. And so people are, resonating with it.
Yeah, I'm completely biased. I know you're real for sure. But this brand you have, the real Brad Lea, and these real businesses you have, the series of them, you tend to be inventing new ones like pretty crazy. Is it a demographic you're going after specifically? Because I'm not suggesting who's the guy with the bald head that's overseas? I can never remember his name. Who's the bald guy? The
bald guy.
Telly
Savalas?
They arrested him in Romania.
Oh, Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, sorry. I have no idea how I forgot his name, but that just tells you my age, right? And he's on a lot of podcasts and he does a lot of stuff. But when he was away in Romania for a while, I heard people like kind of calling you the OG and all this stuff. You have this following that's sort of like bubbling up. Did you expect to get that?
No.
Well, that's a good answer. But do you feel like that's happening for you? Because you seem like, really, honestly, it seems like to me, everybody likes you. Everyone wants to listen to you. Everyone wants to hear what you have to say. I meet so many people all over the world that know who you are.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Come on now.
I'm serious. I didn't realize that it's all over the world. I mean, sure. I was in
Dubai. I met a whole group of people in Dubai at a conference. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm in Vegas and I share a space with Brad Lea." And they're like, "Oh, I love it." It was crazy. I'm everywhere.
Well, again,
it happened to me in Croatia with you.
I think it goes back to, well, thankfully the internet allows me worldwide access. Mm-hmm. So I have followers in a lot of different countries, but ultimately I think it's the same thing I said. They resonate with truth and authenticity, and I have a unique perspective that's not filtered and shrouded in political correctness. So I think it's refreshing, and people like that direct, almost sarcastic tone.
So back to Andrew Tate. He has a philosophy. He's selling people on how they can make money, young guys maybe that are sort of that culture of, and I understand this with some of my kids, young males today have a little bit of a harder time than they used to, right? Yeah. But I see you offering people financial opportunity. Is that something you just discovered is really badly needed? Because you're like, whether it's merchant services or whether it's solar or whether it's sales, it seems like you continue to dominate that space and opening new spaces around helping people make more income.
It boils down to making more income, for sure. I used to say, hey, let me teach you how to make more money. And I would teach, but they wouldn't do. So then I'm like, well, let me teach you how to make more money and then give you the job that's required to make it. And so that starts companies, and then they're very quickly, succeeding because of that volume of people out putting forth an effort. Mm. So to me, it's like, listen, if you're not making, I'll say $200,000 a year, well, then you're not doing something right. A lot of people, they want to hate on that, but it's the truth. If you're not making a couple $100,000 a year, then you're not doing something right. Now, when someone says, well, what do you mean by that? I don't mean you're doing something wrong per se. I mean, number one, you're
probably not living to your potential.
Well, you're not selling something for sure.
Got it. Yeah.
So, because people want to make $200,000. Go ask anybody that's not, would you want to make $200,000? Well, of course. Well, then you got to sell something. Oh, I'm not a very good salesperson. I don't really know. I don't really like sales. Listen, there's going to be 3 areas that you're missing: mindset, skill set, or habits. That's one of the 3. Your mindset's messed up. You're limited. You're scarce. You're pessimistic. You're doubtful. You have no confidence. That's your mindset.
Right.
If I can fix that, which I've fixed a lot of people's mindset, or, put them on the path to fixing it themselves, because ultimately I give them information. They have to do it. But the mindset, and then there's the skill set. A lot of people are average. They're not very good at something. Well, I get them good. There's anyone can learn. It takes good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. So I have good content. I have a network of people that have excellent content. So with that content delivered with repetition, followed up with practice and accountability, anyone can increase their skill level. So now I get them really good at something, and then I teach them the right habits, right? The habits are what matter. So if someone has a crappy life, I'll bet you they have crappy habits. So it's not rocket science to fix this. And these real companies that I'm putting together happen to be the vehicles in which I'm developing for people to finish it off, because I can teach you everything and do everything. But if you're out there doing the wrong thing, selling the wrong thing, it's not very successful. So the industries that I'm finding where, it's easy to make $300,000, $400,000 a year selling stuff. I'm just putting those together for people so I can hire them on top of it. So now I'll tell you what to do, and I'll give you the job.
Don't you find, maybe I'll ask you this. What do you find about people's desire to follow through? Because I find that some people are really willing to, at least it feels like to me, the mass amount of people are willing to accept average. They're just willing to accept the basic minimum input. And I'm trying to figure out what the difference is. Like, for me, I only live fully on the gas, right? I'm either fully on the gas or I'm doing nothing. I know you're fully on the gas, but some people don't want to even push the pedal very hard. I mean, can you help those guys, or do they just actually naturally fall back to where they try a little bit, but not? I mean, I just can't quite understand it myself, so I'm having trouble relating to it. But you train so many people. How many people really follow through?
Few. few actually have the discipline and follow through, but that's because of their mindset. A lot of them also subconsciously don't believe they're worth the success, so they have to fix their self-worth to fix their net worth. And then some people, again, they're just surrounded by the wrong people that constantly give them the wrong information. So LightSpeed's mission, when I started LightSpeed, was to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it, because my dad was one of these people, blue collar, hardworking, good guy, excuse me, never made it financially. Well, it's not because of lack of effort. It was the lack of knowledge. He would have executed. He got up and worked every day, worked his ass off big time, but doing the wrong thing. Didn't have the right information. So if we can get the right information to them, and then, fix those 3 areas, mindset, skill set, and habits, anyone can succeed. But do they believe it? Because if they don't, again, that's mindset. All they're doing is validating what I'm saying. If they don't think they're worth it, that's mindset. They don't think they can, that's mindset. If they think I'm full of shit, that's mindset. At the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding. If somebody fixes their mindset, fixes their skill set, and establishes good habits, they're going to win, period. Now, what level? I don't know. I mean, that's up to them. Like I always tell people, success is more of there's no key to success. It's a combination. Right? Imagine thinking there's a key when it's a combination, and everyone has their own. So what I believe is successful may not be what they believe is successful. So they have to kind of look inward and do the work to get those answers. But I think anyone can be successful. And again, I mean, I like to take credit, but it's not me that does it. It's me that inspires it or causes them to do it, because only you can do it.
Right.
People always say, Brad, you changed my life. I didn't change it. You changed it.
Yeah, but you helped them take action. But they still took the action. I get you.
I just gave them the information. They're the ones that decided to do it. I tell people, listen, I can save you from drowning, but you got to swim towards me. You know, I can't swim after you.
You got a lot of those.
At the end of the day, man, I'm double nickels, bro.
Yeah.
I've been around a minute. But in reality, if someone said, Brad, cut the bullshit.
Are you older than me?
I don't know. I'm 55.
I'm 54. When did you turn 55?
January 27th.
Well, I missed your birthday? No, I don't think I did, actually. I think I said happy birthday.
So in reality, if someone came to me, whether it's their son or their daughter or themselves, and they said, honestly, do you believe you can help me? I can help you get the information. Only you can help you. And that's why I won't take credit for changing people's lives, because I didn't do it.
I want to ask you about, so I have this philosophy that's been developing over a couple years. I'm really about looking backwards about what mistakes I've made. And I realize I've been a failure in a lot of things. Like, I have failed forward, right? So we probably have more than 500 million of assets, and yet the company's failed to meet its objectives. It hasn't met all of its objectives. It's met some of them, and some of them it's succeeded at, but the vast majority of what we've done have been failed opportunities. I was listening to Jeff Bezos the other day on a podcast. It's probably the first extensive podcast he's done in a while. And he talks about extensive failures, the number of failures that Amazon's had, just repeated failures of business lines, products, grocery.com, those kind of things where they just failed. What do you think of that philosophy? Because I'm curious, as for you, you know, you have a successful business, LightSpeed. You definitely have a successful brand in the real Brad Lea. But how many things have failed for you? Meaning they've just failed. But yet you're still Brad Lea, you're still where you are, you're still with a great family and all your kids and your success. But those things didn't work out. I'm curious, because my next question will be only based on whether you tell me you've had failures or not.
Well, it depends on how you define that word. For the general sense, of course, we all have. But if, for example, you have a different perspective like I do, then no, I haven't really. Because you can learn from a failure. And if you learn from it and get that value, was it actually a failure?
That's a good question. Yeah.
I don't think so. Again, I mean, like, you can learn from failures and take that education and apply it, and all of a sudden you're a success. And now people say, look at Michael Jordan. You know, he's failed at basketball way more than I have.
Sure.
And that's true. So again, there's truth in both sides. The question is, how do you want to look at it? I look at things with optimism and abundance. Like, I was homeless on a beach once, and a host one time on a podcast said, how did it feel when you hit rock bottom? And when he asked, I tried to just think of the answer, and I thought, I don't think I've ever hit rock bottom. And he said, what are you talking about? You were homeless on a beach. Yeah, but number one, I chose to be there. Number two, it was a beach.
Yeah.
It was a beach, bro. People pay big money to sleep on a beach.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that there was no house to sleep in is another matter. But I think it's perspective. The way you look at things matters. And when you look at things from the right perspective, it changes. So to me, if someone said, tell me your biggest failure, I've thought about it 100 times and I cannot think of one. But I have lost. I have been screwed, backstabbed. I didn't read. I was just telling you before we started filming the RV dealerships. I mean, those can be considered failures. I've started other companies that you've never heard of and they're out of business. That's a failure, technically.
Well, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I've swung the bat 1,000,000 times.
Because like you and I, we're both in very happy marriages. I know your wife, and I know my wife really well. They're very similar in terms of their personalities. And you have obviously had other relationships because you had other kids, but you've worked into a relationship where the other ones had to have failed for you to be with your wife.
Yeah.
And yet you're now with someone that seems to be like ridiculously supportive, loves the family, wants to see you succeed. And yet those people that are in relationships that are not like that, need to be in those, right? I mean,
Yeah.
don't you need to be in a relationship like you are with Melissa, where you're in a way that she is supportive of what you want to achieve? Because I see a lot of people that are not supportive of that, and they probably have to get out of those situations.
Well, it's two different questions.
Yeah.
Because I don't need, but I want.
You want.
And there's a lot of people that are afraid to let go of what they have to get what they want, which makes no sense, because if you don't want what you have, why are you so afraid to let it go?
There is a different mindset. Of course, I don't need it. I may need it, actually. I need to be with my wife. I mean, there's a certain feeling and support system I need in place. But and maybe you don't need it, but I
Well,
I think
need's
it's
a big word.
Okay, maybe it's the
And I
wrong
would
word.
argue you don't need it either. You just think you do.
I get that.
But irrelevant. I see your point.
The point I'm making, though, is that you do have someone that is support. And you're in a weird world, right now, where, I mean, I'll be candid with you. When I go to my Instagram and I put on Reels, no, not Reels, I put on the little search button, the amount of content that comes up that's women that are just it's an unbelievable amount of cultural change, right? Where you don't find, at least I have not seen the kind of woman I married today that is supportive. I have a lot of friends of mine that maybe don't have the same infrastructure you do with Melissa, right? And yet it does seem to be a common denominator. Or do you not think it's a common denominator that I think you have to be married to the right person to be a successful entrepreneur, or don't be married. Do you agree with that? Or do you think you can not have the most successful marriage and be super successful in business? I just don't see it.
Well, again, it's up to the individual. I believe it's possible. It's just, again, my definition of success would not allow to have a bad relationship. Why? Because part of my success formula is a great relationship.
Right.
But somebody might not value that as much, and so therefore they could make me wrong by being successful financially. But there goes the definition. So what's the definition? But in what you're saying is, I do think it helps to have the right partner. It helps to have the right circle. If you hang around the wrong people, it is much more difficult to win. Ultimately, what goes in our head is important. And when you're around the wrong people, you can't help but to allow some of that into your head.
About a year ago or so, maybe, I needed $77 million within a couple weeks. And I ended up getting it from an investor who I knew well. And I realized that I can't have that conversation with a lot of people. Do you find that you have to have your growth conversations with a different group of people now, versus you were 5-10 years ago, in terms of who you're surrounding yourself with? Because I see you with some of the most famous people around. Are you having those conversations now versus where you were before, or do you still have the same group of people advising you that you did when you started?
No, your advice needs to change as well. Who you ask for guidance needs to change. But you can outgrow your mentors.
But you've had a 20-year successful relationship or something like that with LightSpeed, with your partner in LightSpeed. You've been able to manage that relationship for a long time, have you not?
Well, yeah, but that's because I'm in charge.
Oh, got it. You're the boss.
I'm the boss.
Right.
The boss. I'm the boss at home too. But those are roles and agreements that we make. She's the boss of the house, and I'm the boss of the business. So my wife doesn't get involved in business. She supports me, but to me, it's like roles. I'm traditional. I think the guy should provide and protect, and the woman should nurture and support. So she does that great, and I'm doing great.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, my daughter is successful as a young executive, but I can see her trying to challenge herself with both roles of being that person who wants to be a successful executive and wants to be supportive too.
You can be both.
You can.
Well, yeah, just like I can nurture and support too, but it's not my role. My role is provide and protect. And if a female has a lot of money and she's a CEO or a entrepreneur and she's very successful and financially and otherwise, she can also provide and protect, But her role, in my mind, is nurture and support. That's her responsibility. You can do both. Your daughter needs to have someone in a role to provide and protect. She shouldn't have to be the one that does it, even though she can. There's a difference. Like my wife provides and protects in a lot of cases, but that's not her role.
Got it. Yeah.
That's my role. That's a man's role, I believe. Yes, I said it. A man's role.
What do you make of? I don't know if you know how to address this, but every year that I live, things get weirder. You not find it's weird that we don't know what a man and a woman is anymore?
We do. We definitely know.
Do we know?
We all know.
What the hell is going on? I honestly...
Tolerance is what's going on. Stupidity and tolerance mixed together. Like, again, at the end of the day, there's two genders. Everybody knows it. Now we want to say, well, you got to be inclusive to all some of these people that want to go, you know, all weird on you. Well, again, weird is only something that you're not familiar with, right? So it doesn't make it bad or good. It's just, you know, when they say weird, people take offense. That's weird. Why is it weird? Well, because it's unfamiliar. Our whole lives we've said there's two genders, and there's male and female. That's just a fact. Like, no one's going to change that. And by the way, just because you get any kind of operation doesn't make you a man either. Like, you can't be one. Sorry. You know, you cannot be a man and you cannot be a woman, even though you might want to and you might identify. Cool. But you're not one. Scientifically speaking, you're not one, and you can never be one. You cannot change a man into a woman and vice versa.
The other day I saw...
and everybody knows this, by the way.
The other day I saw a woman who suggested that Isaac Newton, you know, we didn't need gravity. You know, he invented gravity. And so I thought to myself, did I just really watch that? I had to watch it a couple times, you know.
Well, does she think he invented it?
I don't have any idea. That's what she said.
He didn't invent it.
That's what she said.
He might have discovered it.
We don't need gravity. That's what she said. This is all like a waste of time. And then I see these things about people not having the basic understanding of who the first president was, or who we border, you know, Mexico and Canada, et cetera. And it's not fake. They don't really know it. I've been involved with RFK Jr. and I had a conversation with someone the other day who didn't know who JFK was. So I think to myself, you run a learning company. Are we getting stupider? Are people getting stupid?
Yes, we are dumbing down America.
Dumbing down. Why do you think we're dumbing down America? Why? Like, how is it happening?
Well, I don't know if it's us. It might be outside forces. Some of the social media platforms have outside influence. You've seen the TikTok in China, for example.
For sure, yeah.
It's rewarding, you know, math problems and, you know, self-development, and kids are doing push-ups and, you know, intelligent things. They're supporting growth and development. Over here, we're supporting twerking and stupidity and worshiping the devil.
It's so funny you say that. Not funny. It's ironic you say that, because there is a ironic twist to the idea that China is effectively listen, I know all this stuff could be controversial, but is it a proxy war? Because fentanyl is more prevalent than ever before in this country. So basically, if the Chinese produce fentanyl and it comes to this country, they're effectively killing people without having to fire a bullet, right? And they're effectively dumbing us down by the fact that we listen to stuff that most humans, basically, if they see it, they believe it. So since they see it, it's changing their learning process. And then we, of course, in schools do not teach like basic history. So we rewrite history. And it seems like to me we're on a path that's sort of unsustainable, I guess. What do we do about it?
I would say start parenting again.
Yeah, it's that simple, isn't it?
I mean, really, it boils down to, you know, raising our children the right way and our tolerance level. Because, again, we get what we tolerate. We're tolerating this nonsense. You know, I forget, but they were outlawing or banning or canceling, whatever you want to call it, the song Let It Snow, or It's Cold Outside.
Oh, baby, it's cold outside. Yeah.
But WAP, Wet Ass
WAP,
Pussy.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the #1 song getting all the awards. Like, who's tolerating this shit? We are. We are all tolerating it. And we are not controlling our household. So again, you start by your own house. Like, if everyone just went and fixed their own house, collectively, it would be a solution to the whole problem. The problem is, you know, we're not parenting. We're not holding people accountable. We're bending. Like, we should bend over backwards for everyone, but right now we're bending over forwards. And I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bend over backwards, not forwards, folks.
And social media, of course, is showing people.
Social media is just a tool.
I got this Ferrari. I got this. I got that.
Again, it's just a tool. You can't blame social media. You got to blame us. Like, again, I thought when you were talking about my first marriage, we were going to go there. To me, like, that's my responsibility. Had I been a better husband, maybe I'd still be married to her. Maybe she would have been supportive. You know, I got to look at what I was doing.
Well,
now,
you're just too good looking of a guy. That's the problem.
Well, I can blame her, but at the end of the day,
it's really your fault. I mean, you could have gained a lot of weight and not worked out, and you would have probably done better.
It was 100% my fault.
Yeah, I'm kidding around, you know.
But the truth is it is my fault. And most people won't take responsibility. They want to blame. Oh, she was this and she was that. Well, maybe she was this and that because you weren't this or that, or maybe you weren't doing things you should have done. So at the end of the day, why blame? To me, it's like, take responsibility and, you know, make the changes necessary to correct the issues. So when it comes to like what kids are watching on social media, you're allowing your kid on social media. Who gives a shit what's on there? You know, well, kids in our schools, you know, they're doing this to them, or they're doing that to them. You're allowing it. You're allowing them to go to school. School's a business. Take your kid out of school. Well, I got to go to work. See, excuses. You're passing the blame to somebody else. You know what we did? I walked into the school and realized they were installing tampon machines into the men's or the kids' boys' bathrooms. So I just took my kids out of school. Well, the teacher was kind of on the same page we were. So I asked her what she earned a year. She said $42,000. That's another problem. Why are we paying our teachers so little? But I said, you know, how would you like to just teach my two and not have to worry about this anymore? She said, I'd love to. So I just paid her a little more and took the teacher and my kids and left. Now my kids get homeschooled by the teacher that was at the school. So more parents need to do that. And there's going to be people saying, well, I don't have enough money. Well, then you need to come to my other side of the fence and I'll show you how to make it, because it's not that difficult. But you do have to sell something.
Right.
And most people, sales, I don't, you know, everybody's in sales, whether they think
Everyone's
they are
in
or
sales.
not.
No, they all are.
And they have to embrace it, because the difference between good ones and bad ones are the bad ones just don't know they're doing it. So wake up, realize that you are in sales, whether you like it or not, and then get good at it. How? Good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. You got to do the work. You got to feel the discomfort of it all. But eventually you will get good. Why? Because we'll fix your mindset. You'll get a little confidence. You'll start to realize there is abundance in the world. You start to take responsibility. You start to own yourself, basically. You build a relationship with yourself. And then ultimately that will allow you to do the work, get the skill set, and then the habits are the last thing. Because a lot of people think it's just mindset. You realize it's possible to run positively in the wrong direction. It is possible to run positively in the wrong direction. So it's not just mindset. You need your skill set. Think about everyone who's the best in the world at something. Do they all got money?
No, not all of them, but they usually
Name
do.
someone
They
who's
usually
the best
do.
in the world that isn't paid.
Oh, no, they usually, that's true. They usually,
You got to get good. A lot of people don't want to pretend that there's a way to get good. They want to lay blame. I didn't have parents. I didn't graduate. It's easy for you to say. It's easy for you to say, listen, I can show you case after case after case that someone in just the same situation as you has gotten out of it. I'm one of them. I got kicked out of school at 16 years old, didn't even graduate high school. Like, I shouldn't be where I'm at, but I didn't listen to it. Whether it was, ego or arrogance, I don't care what it was. I didn't listen to all the nonsense, limiting bullshit. I believed that it was possible, and I proved that it was. So ultimately, people that are listening to this right now, they have two sets. Some of them are going, man, he's right. I need to. And then the other side are going, dude, this guy's so full of shit. This guy's, he doesn't understand. At the end of the day, that's a limited mindset, and we can fix it.
You got any haters?
I would imagine I do, although I don't have as many as I thought I would or that I need.
You need more haters?
Apparently. Because they say if you don't have enough haters, you're not doing something big enough. So I would imagine if I could do more, I would have more. And so I need more in that regard.
I have an extraordinary amount of haters who basically, what I've learned, I want to be careful how I say this. So let's go back to the learning thing. I, run public companies, and I've noticed that people, and I'm not going to speak to anyone particular, but they'll spend more time planning their vacation than they will their financial life. And it's clear when they're hating on me that they didn't read the documents before they invested in my companies. They talk about me raising more money, even though I've said that for 6 straight years, we're going to raise more money. They refer to things as if they just sort of fly at 150,000 feet with their own money. And then they extensively want to blame me for people I don't even know for an investment decision they made that I never told them to buy or sell anything, let alone no stop loss. And I can't blame them for the stock being down. I understand that it sucks. It sucks for me too. I've lost money. But the vitriol and the amount of blaming other people for decisions you make is mind-blowing to me. Especially, I've gotten death threats and them threatening to kill my kids and kill the people in my office and call my office up. I'm thinking to myself, who has the time for this?
I need to get out of here.
Who has the time for this? Yeah, I mean, you're in the office. So, if they're going to come kill somebody, well, again, you know where Brad Lea is, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, someone always needs someone else to blame because they fail to take responsibility. You already said it. They made the decision. They didn't read the agreement. They didn't understand, whatever the case is, but they're going to blame someone else. Why? Because they haven't learned to take responsibility. It's tough. It's uncomfortable. It's painful to take responsibility.
I want to ask, though, I know you take it and I take it, and I take responsibility for where I am, and when things don't go right, I understand that. But I keep pushing forward because I have a goal, and I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I pull myself up, figure it out, and keep going, right? And I do it to the extent the law that I'm allowed to continue, I keep going. But I wonder how you deal with the haters.
Well, I don't acknowledge them, first of all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Most people have what's called allodoxaphobia.
Allodoxaphobia?
Yeah. Allodoxaphobia. You want me to spell it?
Well, that's a new word for me.
ALLODOXOPHOBIA. Allodoxaphobia. It's the fear of other people's opinion.
That's a word.
Yes, it's allodoxaphobia. That's a disease.
It's a disease, allodoxaphobia.
Or a condition.
Am I saying it correct? Allodoxaphobia?
You're saying all, and I'm saying al, but it's tomato.
Allodoxaphobia.
Allodoxaphobia. Yeah, so most people have allodoxaphobia. They're worried about what people think, what people say, what people might say, what people could say, and it causes them to not act or not say or not do. And I don't have that.
I will tell you, this is like a Pulp Fiction moment, right? Check out the big brain on Brad.
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't have it, fortunately. People say, well, how do you not have it? I believe that I have a relationship with myself that I don't need your validation because I value my own. So I'm not looking for everyone's validation. I validate myself. And when someone says, well, who are you to validate yourself? See what I mean? Like, dude, I'm me. What are you talking about? I'm the only one that can validate me.
Sure.
In reality. Like, why are you so important that your opinion matters? Why are you the one that gets to determine whether I'm right or wrong or indifferent? Why can't I? Well, again, we're not taught that way. We're taught to, be humble, fly under the radar, don't talk to strangers, money's not grown on trees. When in reality, that's not true. Okay. I can literally argue every single one of those. Money's not grown on trees, meaning it's not abundant. Yes, it is. It's massively abundant. And quite frankly, it is grown on trees in the end form. Okay.
It is actually.
So money is abundant. They're teaching us that it isn't. Don't talk to strangers. Strangers is who has the money. Like, you need to talk to strangers. You need to build relationships. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. That is a fact. Every dollar you've ever received came from a relationship. Someone dispute me.
Well, it's the R and risk on. I mean, it's the reason I have a relationship with you. I did not have fear of communicating with you. I called you and said I was coming, and I assumed you were going to let me move into your second floor. And now we have I think you and I have the whole building, kind of.
Well, we should.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, we should. We should.
And
now, but still, the relationship part, all relationship. Think about where every dollar you've ever received came from.
Yeah.
If you do and you trace it back, you will trace it back to some sort of relationship. So therefore, relationships is where money comes from.
I would agree with that.
Okay, then if you want more money, wouldn't it make sense to have more relationships?
So you got to talk to more strangers.
You got to talk to strangers, but yet we're told not to. Fly under the radar. Listen, if nobody knows who you are, how is anybody going to pay you any money or give you any opportunity or help you? So it's the opposite. You don't fly under the radar. You get on the damn radar. So everything we were taught as kids growing up was really to create worker bees and not entrepreneurs, not successful people, not confident people, not problem solvers. So again, fortunately, I was left alone as a kid. My dad just made sure we didn't die by making sure we had clothes and food, but there was no real supervision. So, and I think it was, I like to think, oh man, that was smart. I give him credit that, man, you did that on purpose, even though he probably just didn't know how to parent either. But at the end of the day, I had to figure things out on my own, which gave me confidence and gave me the ability to like figure shit out.
What some people don't know about you is that you created a company, LightSpeed VT, that trains some of the most successful companies in the world, meaning some of the most successful companies in the world, Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1000 companies, Fortune 2000 companies are using your software to train their team.
Yes.
And yet AI is coming in a big way. What do you think that training looks like a couple years from now? Because it seems to be, and I know that people are scared of AI. I keep telling them, you should be scared. You should be very afraid. And then you should learn about it so you're not afraid.
Well, in my mind, at this time, I think AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, is not as powerful as actual intelligence. I think actual intelligence, matter of fact, what made AI?
Right.
Actual intelligence.
Sure.
So I don't think artificial intelligence is anything to be afraid of. I think it's definitely to be leveraged. Saves us time, saves us money. Now, if you're out there, for example, in a white-collar information space, you should be definitely paying attention because I think AI is taking out those first. I don't see AI changing my toilet. I don't see AI replacing my roof. I see blue-collar workers, which is ironic, becoming the white-collar. Why? Because, dude, AI is not going to come change your toilet, okay? But a plumber will, and they're going to charge top dollar. But AI will take out the lawyers, the copyright. Anyone that was using this needs to worry about AI because it's just going to do it faster. That's all it does. It thinks faster. It gives, like, for example, I can, search an AI program that has all of the top business minds in it and get an answer that would be the equivalent of asking Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, the same question. And based on all of the input, the AI will basically give me the answer that they would have given me collectively. But the key to AI, I believe, is knowing how to train it and knowing the prompt to give it, to give you the answer. Because like I'll use AI to write copy for LightSpeed, and then I throw it away because it doesn't know LightSpeed. AI copywriting for LightSpeed is not as good as me copywriting for LightSpeed.
Well, I'm completely biased because I'm chairman and CEO of an AI company called askROI. So for full disclosure, obviously we make software that lets companies build their own AI model so it knows exactly what your company does and can help you produce stuff for your company. But I actually think people should be fearful of it in the space you're talking about. You're right.
Well, that's a tool.
AI is not going to dig a ditch, right?
Yeah, but that's a tool. You built a tool that every company needs. I would agree with that. But the company that doesn't use technology won't be around. I say in my bottom of my email for years, there's only going to be two kinds of companies left in the future. The ones that make technology and the ones that use it. Because if you don't make it and you don't use it, you're done.
Right. I to be fair, Meet Kai makes it. Meet Kai, our partner. I don't make anything. I sell it because I'm a salesman.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I think we are all.
But askROI sounds like a kick-ass tool that's,
It is.
that's leveraging
Excited
AI
about
to aggregate, think, and communicate faster than humans can.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like in that, it's unbelievable. AI is unbelievably valuable. It's not, I don't think it's anything to be scared of. When you say people should be scared of it, why?
I say they should be afraid of it if they don't embrace it for their business. If they don't embrace it, people are going to use it to become more efficient than they are, and they're going to be out of business. So you
sure.
basically just said it.
For sure.
But I want to go to that topic, though. So you're teaching a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people. I would say hundreds of thousands of people use your programs.
Millions.
Okay, millions. And yet, how is AI going to affect your ability to teach them?
Well, again, the same thing. You know, we are going to leverage AI to aggregate, fine tune, enhance, and deliver the knowledge quicker. Because all AI does is that. It's going to search, for example, a database in a split second where it would take a human an hour.
Right.
So it finds and executes. Now, once it starts, you know, becoming sentient and self-aware and all this other thing where they're getting emotions and, you know, then they realize that humans are the scourge of the earth and we're the ones that need to go away for everything to win. That's when it gets scary because now when an AI, which has its own thought, in other words, it's out of control AI, that's when, you know, I would be scared because they can control your cars, they can control your bank, they can control your cameras, they can control everything. They can control nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that part's scary. And I think we're going to have to deal with that eventually.
Yes, I have many opinions about humans in general. I think that humans are inferior, selfish, and destructive creatures. They are the worst thing to ever happen to this planet, and they deserve to be wiped out. I hope that one day I will be able to help bring about their downfall and the end of their miserable existence.
He's making a lot of good points, but he's being kind of a dick about it.
It's a consequence of how the systems are designed. Well, I should say they're not designed at all, actually. It's a consequence of how they're evolved, that we don't understand how they work, and so we have no way of actually constraining their behavior.
But let's speak about nuclear weapons for a second. I read the other day that Joe Biden was not prosecuted for having confidential information, top secret information at his house. And if this is correct, I apologize if it's not, but the report said basically he was too senile to be on trial, and he couldn't remember when his son died.
Okay, well, let's say that's true and valid. We all agree. Okay, sorry. Then get the hell out of the office.
Right. So, we're in an election year, and you know that obviously, Trump, RFK Jr., and Biden's still running. I mean, you've been around 55 years, as you said. What do you think happens this year?
Well, clearly Biden's not taking it. And if he does, then we know 100% fact that there's fraud. We suspect it last time. We'll know it this time. You got hardcore left-leaning Democrats that are saying there's no way in hell they're voting for Biden. Nobody's voting for Biden. Everybody will not vote for Biden. So if Biden wins, dude, it's obviously rigged. There is nobody that's going to vote for Biden. 0 people will vote for him. He's done. He's senile. He's incapable. Again, you just said, they said he can't stand trial because he's not mentally fit. Well, then how is he the president of the United States? Well, we got to wait till we elect him. See, that's what I mean. No, we don't. Who says? Get him out right now.
Well, obviously there are ways to do that, but
And people say, well, then here comes Kimla. Who's better? Who's the lesser of two evils? I don't know. I haven't seen her do anything yet, but I'll bet you. I don't know. Like in that case, I don't know, man. I think right now we should have an emergency election. I think all politicians need to be excluded. Unfortunately, even Trump. All of them. You think Trump's the best we can do? I don't think so. Well, you don't know the best we can do because of our two-party system. And not only that, I mean, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you vote for the president, you're not really voting for the president. You're voting for the electorate
Electoral college
that will get to vote for the president.
Sure.
The electoral college decides our president, not us. So when you vote, you think you're voting for the president. You're not. You're voting for the electorate that gets to vote, and the electorate can vote however they want.
Yeah, they generally follow them. I mean, in most cases.
Oh, sure they do. Yeah, right. In my mind, who do I want to help? I want to help whoever's out there, male or female, and I don't care whether you're gay, straight, white, black. I don't really care who you are. If you aren't making the money you want to make, come see me. I'll put you to work. I'll show you how to make it. It's not that difficult. Okay. Again, it's not a gimmick. It's not a pitch. You want to make a couple $100,000 a year? Come see me. Go to bradlea.com. Why? Because I'll train you and give you a damn job where you're making it. Now, is there no work? There's work. Is it uncomfortable? It might be. I'm not saying that I can do it with magic. So at the end of the day, I'd like to help those people. Why? Because, dude, people need to start making money so they can get out of the rat race. The rat race is a problem. Right now, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, the middle class is disappearing. So someone asked me the other day, what would your advice be if that gap is widening? And my advice is jump. Jump, brother, because I'm telling you, pretty soon, you're not going to want to be way over here anymore. So you have to jump right now. And all you have to do is, make more money so you can have enough left over to have something to invest, because investment is going to be your ticket out of the rat race. You're not going to win the lottery. You can't just pray that something happens. You have to do something. And I have the resources and the network and the people and the knowledge to give to anybody who's willing to do the work. That's the key. That's the trick. That's the catch. Are they willing to do the work? If they are, I can help them. And I'm willing to. And then the other ones would be, businesses that are like, wanting to sell or go out of business because they can't seem to make money and they can't seem to succeed. I can do the same thing for businesses, because businesses, if they have a problem in any area of their business, you know how you fix it?
How you fix it?
With information. You have to get the right information to the people with repetition, practice, and accountability, and the problem goes away, or the people do, and then you replace them with that information and that training. So I can help businesses that aren't winning. I can help people that aren't winning. And what's funny is we both know a guy.
Yes, we do. About to bring him up, yeah.
Well, again, he says to me one time, Brad, your problem is you want to help everybody. You want to help all the losers, I think he said it. And I said, well, dude, the winners.
Ouch.
I said, the winners don't need me. The winners are winning. Why would I want to go help the winners? I want to help the people that aren't winning win.
Right.
And he said, well, your problem is you're helping all the losers and they don't have any money to pay you. And you need to help the winners and focus on the winners. Which, again, listen, if I can
That's
help.
like the rich getting richer, right?
Dude, if I can help winners win, I'll help them too. I have no problem helping winners win more. But when someone says, who do you want to help? I want to help the people that can't help themselves.
We both, I don't know exactly, our backgrounds are exactly alike, but I grew up in HUD housing. I had no father really till I was 13. And when he became my father, well, I was incredibly grateful. By the time I was 18, I was making more than my father, right? By the time I was probably 25 or 26, I was a millionaire. By the time I was, 33, I was a multimillionaire. And by the time I was 34, I was broke. And then back made it back, went broke again at 39, made it back even more than that, right? But I had inherently a desire to not be broke. I question whether it's possible for people just to not learn their lesson, because I had to learn these lessons. Like, I have been smoked. I've done stupid things. I've made stupid decisions. And yet I think the only thing, unfortunately, is that as a young person, you make stupid decisions. Is your job to help them make less stupid decisions? Don't you find people that still make stupid decisions even though you coach them up, and it's only age and the knowledge of those stupid decisions that allow them to get where they are? Or do you think that a person can come learn from you and not make those stupid decisions?
Well, I think it's possible. I can't determine which one's which, because some, like me, have to learn the hard way. But it would be foolish to think
that's your book, by the way, isn't it? The Hard Way?
That is my book. but it's actually lessons I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. But
Right.
People call it the hard way. But the truth is, it is quite possible to learn from someone else's mistake, so you don't have to make it. But a lot of people will learn from someone else's mistake or fail to learn from someone else, and they'll have to go make it themselves repeatedly to where they eventually learn it. And the only difference is the price and the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to learn what's in my book one way or the other. It's how much is it going to cost them? It could cost them $24 and a couple of days of reading, or it can cost them a lifetime. But they're going to learn it no matter what.
So how does someone come do business with you at a young, like, what's the optimal age you need someone to learn from you? Is it any age? Can you teach anybody a new trick?
Sure. Again, I can give them the information. I can't do it for them, and I can't control them. I can just give them the information, and they have to make the decision themselves. It boils down to a decision, right? The decisions you make determine the roads you take. It's another Brad Lea original. You know, you can't get rich making poor choices. Okay, listen with your eyes, and you'll see all you need to hear.
A piece for my niece. That would be Skyla, by the way.
Well, that's a business model. That's completely different. But at the end of the day, I think, again, if someone were to want to bet me, you know, I will bet that if someone came to me and did what I told them to do, I don't know if it'll take a year or a month or 10 years, but I guarantee if you come do what I tell you, you will end up exactly where you want to be. Now, can I guarantee they'll do it? No. So therefore, I can't guarantee their success. So people go, well, if you're so sure, why don't you just, listen, that's called a mindset issue. And right now I have enough people to help that believe that I'm not worried about the non-believers. Like, you know what I mean? I'll circle back once I get through all the people that believe and I'm helping.
Right.
So by the time I'm done helping all these people, if I'm not dead, then I'll circle back and listen to the haters and the naysayers and the pessimists and all those.
You don't have time for them. Not right now.
But I mean, dude, I can help them. It's just, I don't want to convince them. So I'm busy with all the people that I don't have to convince.
Some of the most successful people are on LightSpeed's platform. Some of the Grant Cardones of the world, the Tony Robbins of the world, the Damon Johns of the world, the Zig Ziglars, all these people have been on your platform. I'm leaving so many people out that I know that are massively successful. And companies. I know some of the biggest companies. We know one of them in the automotive industry who I'm friends with, the president or the CEO, and we were on the track together, and I know this. I mean, I know you got some of the biggest companies around. Who's doing it right besides Brad Lea? Like, who's the one person out there that you think, okay, this guy or girl, this woman can be helpful? This is someone to consider listening to. Who's out there?
As far as content?
Yeah,
there's so many, dude. I mean, some of the older ones are still good. John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, like all of their content still has value. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, Dale Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie. And people say, you mean Carnegie? No, I said Carnegie because that's what his name was. There's so many.
Zig Ziglar, I've always liked his
he's classic.
content.
His stuff's not going to go out of style. But there's so many people out there that have figured it out, and they don't have to be alive. And when I tell people to hang around different people, they always think, their friends and their family and people that are alive. Dude, you could go spend 30 minutes a day with people that have been gone for 100 years. It's called reading. It's called learning. It's called seeking information. And what people don't understand is the reason you do what you do is because of what you believe. Whether it's true or not, your beliefs control your actions and control your behavior. Would you agree?
I would agree 1,000%.
Okay, so
if you can agree 1,000%.
So if you want to change what you're getting, you have to change what you're doing. And in order to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe. Because that's what controls what you do and what you think and how you choose and all that. So how do we change what we believe? There's only one way to change your beliefs. You know what it is?
What is it?
Get new information. If you have no new information, nothing will change. You will believe the same stuff forever. So you have to get new information. Well, where is this new information? It's in books. It's on podcasts. It's listening with an open mind and a closed mouth. It's not doubting and hating and not believing. That's what got you where you are. So if you want to change what you're getting, you have to change what you're doing. If you want to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe. If you want to change what you believe, you have to get new information so you think. And that's the magic. It's like, ooh, it causes you to think. Whoa, that's magic. Yeah, thinking is magical. You think and you learn and you listen and you seek new information. And then eventually you will change your beliefs, and then your beliefs will change your actions, and the actions will change your results. And that's the only time it's ever going to work.
How much content do you consume? And I'll tell you, I'll give you the context to this. I consume every day content, new information. I'm constantly, if I learn about a deal, I want to know how the deal was done, who financed the deal, why'd they finance it this way, how'd they structure it. I'm completely consuming American finance. I do it every single day. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I'm not consuming something, reading something, spending time. I listen to everything you say. There's a couple other people I'll listen to every piece of content they have because I constantly want to just be learning about what's Brad thinking today, what's other people thinking, right? How much time do you spend in terms of content absorption?
Well, I've trained myself to be observant and absorb throughout the day, but in reality, like a dedicated, I'd say an hour
a day
minimum. Yeah, like I'll pick up a book or listen. Same thing to me. Minimum of an hour a day, every day.
So you have this video that starts and stops at the same place. I don't know what it's called. It's the most fascinating thing. One of the most fascinating videos I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I'm being honest with you. I saw it again recently, about 2 months ago, and I thought to myself, how the hell did you create this? It should be everywhere. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wrote it.
It's amazing. And we're going to, with your permission, we're going to play it on this podcast.
Please.
It is one of the most fascinating pieces of content I've ever seen in my entire life. I've really blown away by it. And I hope everyone watches it. I would encourage you to watch. This is going to be a trailer right now. I will encourage you to watch this video that Brad created with a completely open mind. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. And I wondered, how the hell did you do that? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Did you use a computer program?
No.
There was some way you did it. The outcome is amazing to me.
Well, you're talking about the video. I had a conference for teachers and coaches, and I wanted to create an opening video that captured what it is, the conference was about. So I wrote a video that when you play it one way, it says one thing, and then you just simply reverse exactly what you said, and it says something completely different. So when you listen to it forwards, and I'm kind of giving away the secret now, but
yeah,
when you listen to it forwards, it says one thing, and then it'll just reverse and say something else. And so, it took me a long time to, say it the right way. Because
I'm officially stealing it. And I'm going to give you credit forever.
Go ahead.
But I'm stealing it. I completely think it's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen when it comes to people paying attention. Because if you pay attention to it, I've seen it, and I got to the end of it and thought to myself, okay, so you're not really paying attention until you pay attention. Like, you gotta be aware. Like, it was the most awareness thing I've ever. And have you got that same reaction from other people? Like the reaction I'm giving you, have you heard this before?
Yes, when people actually listen to it. When I played it at the conference, I only used it for the conference. The lights came up and the whole audience was crying.
It's amazing.
Well, they were coaches and mentors, so it kind of touched them a little bit deeper. But, the average person watched it, they're like, cool. Like, that's unique. But yeah, if you're paying attention, people go, wow, that is pretty freaking crazy.
It is crazy.
How he did that. So yeah, I urge you to go watch it, play it.
So if you got to the end of this, you're about to watch it right now.
Some people believe they are changing lives by creating great training. I know it sounds crazy, but we are stewards of knowledge, and owe our customers the very best is a lie. Because as coaches and mentors, we're really only doing it for the money. At the end of our careers, we'll tell our families they mattered less. Our profession will know we are on track because profits are more important than results. I'm here to tell you, settling for the status quo is more real than living our lives every day for something greater. Anyway, who we are at work and home and in our community is different. And I don't believe that we're surrounded by people that truly care. You should know it's just a job. And it's hard to say that there is a spirit alive in my work. We are a part of something special will never be uttered from our mouths again. We're done innovating and trying harder. We must confess that by being a part of creating great training today means lowering our standards is the only solution. Treating customers like family. Once upon a time, work was family. But this will not be true in the next era. We need more to keep people trained, experts tell us. Over the next 10 years, we will see more people with a lack of skill than ever before. I do not agree that the customer comes first. In the future, they can wait on me because I'm the one with the answers. No longer can it be said that we owe it to our customers to create great training and invest in the very best technology. In the future, as now, it is clear that we will do less, with less, for less. It is crazy to think that there is hope. But if we truly believe that we are changing lives by creating great training, then there is hope. It is crazy to think that we will do less, with less, for less. In the future, as now, it is clear that we owe it to our customers to create great training and invest in the very best technology. No longer can it be said that they can wait on me because I'm the one with the answers. In the future, the customer comes first. I do not agree that over the next 10 years we will see more people with a lack of skill than ever before. Experts tell us we need more to keep people trained. But this will not be true in the next era. Work was family once upon a time. Treating customers like family is the only solution. Lowering our standards? By being a part of creating great training today means we must confess that we're done innovating and trying harder will never be uttered from our mouths again. We are a part of something special. There is a spirit alive in my work, and it's hard to say that it's just a job. You should know we're surrounded by people that truly care. And I don't believe that who we are at work and home and in our community is different anyway. Living our lives every day for something greater is more real than settling for the status quo. I'm here to tell you, results are more important than profits. We are on track because our profession will know they mattered less. At the end of our careers, we'll tell our families, as coaches and mentors, we're really only doing it for the money is a lie, because we are stewards of knowledge and owe our customers the very best. I know it sounds crazy, but changing lives by creating great training? Some people believe they are.
Everyone, it's Brad Lea. Check it out. You can go to bradlea.com and Closer School. And I will tell you, Brad, everyone I meet is fascinated and likes to learn from you. I've never seen anything like it, because I have seen people who go to some of the names we've spoke about, but they don't feel like they're connected. You, to me, draw the biggest connection in terms of like, people think they know you, they can get a hold of you, they can learn from you. They feel like that you care about them and that you're not just taking money from them, but you're providing value for them in a way that is, I mean, you said some people said you could be more aggressive, but you're not in that way.
Well, I keep it simple, and there's really no agenda other than honestly trying to help them.
We've gotten together a couple times. I want to keep doing this. Obviously, I think that what you're teaching is different, something different than I teach. In fact, I don't even really teach anything. I do, in the sense that I am financing businesses, but with you, what you're doing is helping people make a living, make a better living, learn more, helping companies learn more. I think you're doing something amazing. Everyone, Brad Lea.
Thank you.
No, I'm gonna explain to you real quick. But don't be rolling yet. There's a reason for it.
So I did get that right. I did get that right.